Thousands gathered for a vigil at Berlin's Brandenburg Gate yesterday after a deadly attack on the city's Pride event over the weekend. One person was killed and 29 were wounded when a suspect drove a van into the crowd and then attacked people with a machete. Police said they killed the suspect yesterday after a manhunt that lasted nearly a day. We're joined now by Chris Livesay. He's in Berlin covering the aftermath of this. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Errol. That sense of being stunned simply has not stopped here at the Brandenburg Gate, as you mentioned.
What do we know about the suspect?
Well, the suspect had a checkered past, to say the least, a history of wanting at least to carry out terrorist attacks. So we know that, according to police, he traveled to Lebanon to join ISIS, then returned to Germany, where he was convicted in May for trying to commit serious violence and to distribute ISIS propaganda. Now, despite that, and despite the best efforts of prosecutors, he was given a suspended sentence. Just 3.5 weeks ago, Errol, police searched his home under suspected weapons possession. However, all they came up with was a toy, and that search came to an end. He was also under court orders to undergo de-radicalization courses. However, sources tell CBS News that he had only undergone screening for those courses and not the courses themselves. So he had already undergone several of these screenings, and his next scheduled screening was for later this week, Errol.
Wow, Chris, I can imagine how outraged some festival goers may be to hear that. But where does the investigation go from here? It did take police a full day to track the suspect down, and ultimately the suspect was killed. But where do things move now?
Indeed. Well, talking to people here at the scene of the attack, which is just a short walk away from the Brandenburg Gate, where people have come to mourn and lay flowers, talking to people, many of whom are survivors and eyewitnesses themselves, they're shocked that something like this could have happened, given the track record of the suspect, the idea that he was walking free despite being under this kind of observation and suspicion of wanting to carry out these types of attacks. So that's where investigators are sure to be looking, exactly where these weaknesses occurred in the system to allow something like this, to allow a suspect to be able to carry out something like this to begin with, Errol.
Yeah, we know so many people will be pressing for answers on that very point. Chris Livesay, live for us in Berlin. Chris, thank you.